Hello everyone, very good evening. Myself Shiva Teja, faculty for Anthropology. So please watch this video till the end. We are going to have a proper discussion regarding the problems that one generally faces over anthropology and how this 555 program would act as a solution. So we know that there are many good teachers making their best efforts. Congratulations to them. In the same manner that this is one of the good attempt made by myself. Okay. So now let's discuss what problems are generally faced. Okay, recently we have winded up with 2023 mains. So while guiding the students for 2023 mains and before that as well, so students have expressed certain common concerns. The first thing is the conceptual clarity. Okay, so many of the times they tend to take the information but they don't understand it. So that is the first biggest challenge. Okay, and second thing is that they don't have the self-made notes for the content that they were reading. Okay, so they tend to follow some textbooks or some notes or some others copies. Okay, so they don't have their own self-made notes. Third thing is that they don't do proper revision and practice. Okay, so there is no proper revision and practice. Other is assessment. Okay, so they were not able to assess themselves in which areas they are weak and in which areas they are strong. So when you don't know in which areas you are weak, how are you going to overcome your weakness? So the same thing is going to be repeated in the exam. And at the same time, the one major concern expressed was the passive mode of reading. When you are in the passive mode of reading, even if you people just think when was the last time you were reading actively, okay, where you have presence of mind completely and you are conscious. So it is very little amount of time that if you could recall. The reason is that you have to develop curiosity in your mind to read. So there is passive mode of reading most of the time and they were not actively doing this reading part. Because of that their analysis was absent. So this was the major issue. And the other issue is that in the process what happens is we tend to come across many questions. Okay, some areas we don't understand certain topics. In some areas we feel that whether the content we are reading is right or wrong. In some areas this content is not good and you have to replace it with something better, and you go in search of it and you spend time on it, you refer to different books, and sometimes you see the content and you feel that this has to be enriched and this is similar to what everybody is doing and it has to be enhanced in order to relatively fetch better marks than others. So when this happens, okay, you don't have a person to rely immediately. Okay, so the person has to be expert in anthropology and he should be reachable to you and he should resolve your query immediately. Okay, so if you don't have a person to rely throughout, okay, so if you don't have a person to rely throughout and who is reachable to you, what happens is that you tend to lose your time in the areas which you should not. Okay, so sometimes you may work very hard, you might find a content and at the end you get to know that this is not the right content. Or you might go through many of the blogs and you try to understand a particular topic. At the end you get to know a particular person was able to explain the same thing in 2 minutes which you have spent 2 hours. So for these reasons you need some true companion throughout your preparation, and that you are going to get through this 555 program. Okay, so you have a true companion. That if that person is the faculty, I think that would be the best thing. And second thing is that assessment. Okay, who are we to assess you? Okay, so we are no one, you have to assess yourself. Okay, we are not here to judge you, rather to help you. Okay, so everybody is equally intelligent, but this process needs focus, consistency. Since there is limited time, we have to take some support. Okay, so in assessment what happens is, okay, in this program every day morning, okay, you will be given 6 questions. Okay, Why do we provide 6 questions? The reason is that when you tend to go through the questions, okay, when somebody is questioning you, you start generating information. Okay, we have been habituated over a period of time generally to take information. If you see, everywhere there is information, your friends, your parents, okay, books, everywhere. Okay, so even television, internet, everywhere there is plenty of information, and our brain is continuously taking information on day basis. When was the last time you have generated the information? So in order to develop active mode of reading, okay, in order to make your presence while reading, we provide you 6 questions where you need to think upon it and tend to write answers to it. Okay, so when you do this, you tend to know where your gaps are. Okay, so you tend to know that these are the areas where you should work in this particular topic. Okay, so now there would be a chart. Okay, so Excel chart, and in each column you'll be having, okay, so today's questions, there are 6 questions. Which questions, okay, in the task bar, in which questions you have performed well, which questions you did not. Okay, so what are pending? So this way you would be having a chart, and this chart is accessible only to you. Okay, so whenever you want to share with the faculty, you can do, and you can take the insights. But more than faculty getting to know about it, you will get to know which areas you are weak and which areas you have to spend the time. Okay, at the same time, it gives a sense of accountability. If you have to approach someone, if you're taking someone's help, and if you're not being sincere, so you may not get the sincerity replicated by the other person. So because of this fear, you will be having the accountability, proper accountability. So first thing, because of the questions, you will be generating active mode. Next thing is, you will be having assessment, and in the evening, okay, in the morning if we have provided you the questions, in the evening what we will be doing is that we will be having a discussion. Okay, I myself will be taking those 6 questions. Okay, so for each question we will first understand what is the concept. Next, we will try to understand the related concept to that question. Okay, so question may not come in the same manner, it may be little tweaked and twisted, it may put in a different manner. So you have to have a holistic understanding. Then after that, okay, so we have plenty of information. Now what to put on paper? So for that reason, I'll be making a structure, and I'll be also writing along with you people so that you can note down. Okay, so I'll also be writing, you can also write along with me, you can note down. So you will be doing your self-made notes as well. So now you are developing conceptual clarity, your self-made notes is ready, you are doing active mode of reading, and since your notes is ready, you can revise it plenty of times, and you have assessment where you are weak and where you are strong, so that you can spend time accordingly. And at the same time, post discussion anytime, okay, you can take a slot to discuss whatever doubts you have, be it with respect to content. Suppose you can tell me, sir, this is the particular area, I would be needing information on this area since I'm lacking it. Immediately referring to various sources that are available, I'll be sending you the information on it. Or you can ask me that I need a simplified version of this content because I'm not able to do it. So I would suggest you the simplified version, or I'll tend to make it on myself. At the same time, suppose there are particular topics, or there are particular topics which you didn't understand at all, despite many efforts by faculties or you doing yourself from textbooks or videos. So in such case, what we'll be doing is that we'll be having a personal session where we'll be discussing, okay, so where we'll be discussing those doubts personally, one-on-one. So this way, the 555 program will help you overcome all the problems. So even before starting your prelims, you can finish your optional, that is by January 15th. So this is the real intention between it, and it is generated out of passion. Okay, so it has been generated out of passion, not randomly. So if you give your 100%, I'll be giving my 200%, so that we both can work towards the exam and process at the same time the results. Okay, so see you soon in the program. Thank you.